Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Veil with BoneZee and Conscious Evolution. I'm your host AJ, and I'm joined with Billy Bones here. How you doing?
What's happening? What's going down? What's happening, people?
Yeah, it's a little better. Last episode we did, it was like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It was. So bright and early in the morning, I'll do this before we go to work, and we'll start getting the shows pumping.
Oh, you got to work today, do you?
Yeah, it's my day off, but I got to go in for an appointment and
I see.
and all that stuff. Yeah, so.
Right on.
Yeah, so welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us again. And
Welcome.
we're gonna talk about synchronicities. Talk about your higher self and how it's your higher self
Got you here.
synchronicities. You know?
Yeah. It's actually how you got here. You know.
Right. It's like, when you, especially lately, I've been seeing so many synchronicities, like every hour of the day, every day. But if you think, like, what makes you look at the clock at that exact time, or makes you look at something or see a synchronicity, you know? And it's over and over and over again, and that fascinates me, and that never happened before. And then you become aware of it, and then I think the more you go along on your journey, the more you level up, so to speak. You know what I mean? The more you raise.
Well, you become. Well, I think you just actually become in tune with your higher self. I mean, you can hear you can hear your higher self or whatever that urge is that's making you look so much easier. It's like. It was probably coming all along, but you just weren't here. You know, you were so distracted. Everything has got us distracted, and you can't, it's hard to even concentrate. It's hard to, we don't know where we're going half the time, man. I went to the gas pump before, go in and pay to get my gas, and I just leave and forget to pump my gas. And I'm like going down the road and it's still on empty. I'm like, what? Dude, I just put $20 in this, but I didn't pump it because I'm just like, mind is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard to, even and if you do notice anything on the clock, you just dismiss it, because you're just. But once you start to pay attention, that's it's your higher self that's got you to where you've actually woken up, where you've become awakened. Where you're, whether it was the Mandela effect and somebody, your higher self led you to that person who was going to expose you to it, or say, hey, have you heard of that? Or the video that you found the video that told you about it. Or whether it's just, you had this sense that something wasn't right, and then you found these videos about being awakened. All these videos that are on here, a lot of things that are going on, and you're like, oh shit, I can relate to that. It was your higher self that got you here. So you have to keep on following that intuition that, it's actually a feeling. You're picking up, your brain is processing all this information, and that's got you connected this way. But your heart, that's what, it's your feeling that's everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that's how you gotta start guiding your life. If you feel it, do it. You know what I mean? If it feels good, you got to do it. It's really important right now. It's really important. So, because that's what connects you to your higher self. That's how you know to look at the clock. That's how you know, because you're feeling it. I mean, you are thinking it, but your mind's going like here, there, but you're being tapped into, you're being contacted, I think.
Yeah.
Both ways, through your head, but a lot through your heart. That's why it's so important to find joy, and it's so important to, be emotional. It's very important because this is how you're really communicating with the universe. This is how you really communicate, is through the feeling. The head is, what's getting you around here in this meat suit. You're taking care of business here on earth and doing whatever. But man, if you want to connect to the shit, if you want to connect, it's the feeling. That's where you get connected. To me, it's the head and the heart. I think that's what the cross is. It's, the head, you're connected, and then the heart, one's electromagnetic, one's magnetic. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think the cross is really all about. Then you have the points of the cross where you have, like what you would have, the equinoxes, and the solstice, up and down.
Yeah. I've never heard it that way. And before the cross was even a thing, like in the Roman times, the sign was still a cross, but it was it was an equal cross, so it intersected right in the middle of both parts, and that goes back since way ancient times. Like I mean, like is what you're saying. You got to follow your intuition. You really gotta trust your instinct. The music of your life is your instinct, and you really got to start trusting that. And that's what I mean when I always say stop listening to people. You don't need to hear what they say. You know what to do. You know what's right. You can
feel it. Yeah,
it's the same thing when you hear something that you can't read in a book or learn if that's really true or not because there's no evidence. You just know it. You just feel it. Your intuition, your energy centers, your chakras, everything's telling you, ringing true. When I hear information that I guess you could call it esoteric information that you can't find in a book or look up and get any definitive evidence from anywhere, I get this feeling, and it just started in my gut, but now it's got to a point like I feel it in my gut and my whole body like tingles. You know what I mean? Like cells are tingling. Like this is the right way. This is the thing. It is real. And it's so intense.
Yes. Yeah, because the information, it's information that's already locked into your DNA anyway. And all you're doing is remembering, you're seeing it and like, that's why it feels so good. That's why it's so important, not only to find joy and feel so that you're in this area going this way in the cross, but you also have to learn everything. I mean, just everything from physics to everything. I mean, mathematics to numerology to, anything and everything, whatever it leads you to learn, but just eat the knowledge, because the more you open up your mind, the more that you learn, you're firing different neurons. And when you do that, you literally are changing shit all around you. Your energy is completely changing. Everything around you is changing. And, your mind, you have to expand it, but you have to expand your heart and your mind. I think that's the whole thing, man. Heart and mind, you know what I'm saying? And to me, that's why we said something about talking about the higher self, because this is for the higher self. That's how you're connected, you know what I'm saying? Because you can feel it. It's like, we think of shit, we always think of shit and we figure stuff out, but like there's times where you just like something's going on with somebody and you can feel it, and that something's going on, and you're like, man, I think something's like, you can feel it, because it's the energy, or it's the information coming through your heart, to me, and it's more intuitive, you know what I'm saying? Where you might be thinking of something, but you'll rationalize it, and you're like, no, they've been working hard and they've been doing this, but your heart, you're like, in your heart, something ain't right. So you reach out, and next thing you know, that person's like, oh my God, I'm so glad that you reached out to me, because something was really had me, like this or that or whatever. But what I'm saying is that's where you really are connected to the shit is through your feelings, through your feelings. And that's also how you manifest. That's how you manifest too, is like, if you're living in fear, you bring the fear to you, whatever you're focusing on. It doesn't matter really if you're putting the fear energy or the love energy out. Once you put that energy out there, you sort of collect whatever it is you're putting the energy on. So if you're thinking, man, I sure hope I don't have a flat tire. I sure hope I don't, break down. I sure hope I don't run out of gas. Boy, sure enough, you're going to. You know what I'm saying?
Going to, yeah.
You just put the energy out there. You know what I'm saying?
You get back what you put out, for sure.
Yeah, and it's tricky, because we live in this world where, you do fear everything. They've got you on it. You've got everything you've got's insured. You know what I mean? Your seat belted up. You're, rolling the speed limit. You're not turning right on red, but you're safe. You know what I mean? You're safe and sound. You know what I'm saying? As long as you follow all these laws, don't break them. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna be big. Yeah. But,
it's back to what you said about information. Absorb all the information that you can. What I thought when you said that like that's the forbidden fruit that this world doesn't want you to know. Like they don't want you to have the information. They don't want you to learn it. They don't want you to know who you are and stand in your power,
Right.
And then it's following your emotions too. I mean, emotions is energy and motion. Everything is energy. So that information, those words, those thoughts that you have when you're learning all this information is all energy. And you can discern what's true by how it makes you feel, and then you just go from there. If you let that feeling lead you and don't let anyone else's influence guide you in your path here, you'll be amazed at where that'll take you. And then after a very short time of doing that, you'll learn to trust that a lot more. And I mean, I won't follow anything else. If I start thinking about and analyzing something too much, I know I've gone too far, and I just forget about it and start over. And what feels right, So that's how I've been that's how I've been working towards living my life with everything. Everything I know I'm guided. I know there's a team of angels as well to help us along in this journey, and it's magical, man. It's absolutely magical. All these experiences we have. I mean, my meditations have gone pretty interesting places lately, and
they will.
And it goes even further than just getting the information and learning all the information. You gotta reprogram your subconscious mind too, because that's what I believe is really projecting, because we're projecting our realities, individually and both as the collective. So we're not aware of it, so we're subconsciously doing it. So if you can change or reprogram your subconscious to project the reality that you want, that you most resonate with, that reflects your vibration,
right?
That's how you really start to change shit.
Yeah, and it's a slow process. I mean, you have to, you're changing your cells basically, and once you start that, and then it ripples out into the universe. So a lot of people, they think, well, this manifesting, they want to manifest the stuff tomorrow. Like, I need this shit tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm doing this, I'm meditating, I'm doing whatever, chiming this shit. I remember when I first got into this, man, I got the Sri Yantra going, I'm chiming, I'm, doing whatever the little mantras are and shit, you know what I'm saying? But I was vibrating like hell, so it was working, some of the shit, But I'm trying to get money. I'm like, bring me that money, you know what I mean? But, it slowly dawned on me that the stuff that really mattered to me is exactly what I need and have, for joy, for true joy. Because money's cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like to have a lot of money, but what I really want is for my family to be, all my grandkids to be healthy, everybody to be happy and healthy, and that's what's up. So, and that's what's going on. So that's what I really, really want. If those, if a genie popped out of a bottle and I had 3 wishes, those would be the first couple, you know what I'm saying? So
to have abundance, and abundance doesn't necessarily mean money,
Right.
I like Bashar's quote of that: the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it is abundant. It doesn't say anything about money, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, in this world, we do still need money, and I think of it as a tool. So
it is.
If you have it, you can use it to help people.
Right. We need it, so you can't just blow it off. Exactly. But but like I was saying though, that in all reality of everything, if anybody, if their first 2 wishes, that would be that, health and happiness for family and yourself, you know what I'm saying? So, so in all reality, I am enriched, I am, you know what I mean? So, it's all good, but, the money's coming, baby.
It'll come. That's what I say too. And, I have an abundance in my life, and it is not money by any means, but it's also something that you can't buy.
Right.
You can't buy this. You have to do the work. Right. There's no amount of money in the world that you can spend to get you in this kind of state.
Money will take you away from this.
Yeah, it'll pull you far away.
Distract your ass, because you will lose sight of everything.
There's very few people that can operate with a lot of money and stay in this, and I don't know any of them.
Stay in the
But I'm
light.
sure there's got to be one.
Yeah, there's got to be somebody. Yeah. Because it'll corrupt you. Yeah. Well, it changes your direction. You know, it definitely changes. You know, start looking outward instead of inward.
Well, exactly. You start looking at the material things that you can get.
Yeah,
that you don't
right.
need, and, you know.
Yeah, and all the answers are right inside. You know, everything is here. You know, everything is, and that's why, like, you know, they talk about enlightenment. They talk about, and to me, you know, it's you know, it's so, well, it's just a metaphor. I mean, it is such a, everything's in parables. Everything you hear has so many different meanings, I think. You know, there's so many different.
There's layers and layers to it.
Right. And to me, learning, just, you know, studying philosophers, you know, different people like Pythagoras and Plato and Socrates and different philosophies and different religions and different things, just learning as much as you can learn. The more you learn, the faster you learn and the more you can absorb. And then when you're feeling and you're living in the joy, like I say, if you get these two things going, to me, that's when you really start to become what I would call enlightened. You know, like you speak and shit comes out of your mouth and you're like saying stuff that, and you listen, after you said it, you're like, did I just say all that shit? That was deep. That was deep, bro. You know what I mean? But you know, you get to that point where you're in such a flow state. Everything is so, and you know, people that piss you off, you can kind of see why they're so, I mean, I don't want to say that they're damaged, but you can see how they've come to this place to where they just do what they do. You know what I mean? And you're like, you kind of feel sorry for them, and like you feel sorry for yourself. It's like, you know, everybody is sort of damaged by a lot of different things that's happened to us, and the way that the media and the society and the church and everything is taking control and kind of beat everybody down, beat down the self-esteem, you know, and you know, it's got a lot of people damaged, you know what I'm saying? So
oh yeah.
But I've lost my train of thought. But
it's, you know, I've been working on seeing the divinity in everybody.
Yeah.
Even though they don't.
Everything's when you get to that place, and it's not easy to always stay there, because I get there and then I leave there because I'm back in Earth. I keep coming back and forth to Earth, man. This old Earth or the new Earth. I don't know where I'm going, but I know that I'm not always, you know, in this loving always state. But when I way, I can see even all the bad shit is perfect. I can see how perfect everything is and how everything is, like there's a balance, because it's in this duality deal, you know. And I know there's a lot of love. We just don't see it because they're not advertising it on the news, you know. But you know, you see hate, you see all the anger, you see all this and that, and you think that's all there is. But you know, no, there's a lot of love going down. There's a lot of love going down. You know what I mean? You just got to find that. You got to find that channel, which fortunately for all of us, YouTube happens to be the only place really at this time where you can go and find love, you know, and change to, you know, swipe us and go to another bit of love.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Keep stay in that love, man. And that's the thing. You find the information that you're looking for. So if you're seeking out things on hate and fear, you're going to find things on hate and fear.
Right.
You're seeking out things about love and you know, spiritualness or higher selves or meditating. You're going to find that information. You know, so it's about your mindset, really. I mean,
and if you stay on it, if you stay on that
love, you keep living in love and looking for love. And I don't mean like with a partner. I just mean loving yourself. You know, you gotta learn to love yourself. Learn and love that divinity inside of you. And you have a piece of God in you. You are a part of God.
Yes.
We're all connected to God. We're all connected to each other. It's an amazing thing. And once you learn that, and you have a small group of people like we do here, I mean, we're all connected to the level of, if I start feeling off, if I'm coming back into this duality and you know, I'm struggling with some things and trying to transmute some energies, you feel it, Rebecca feels it, Africa feels it, everybody feels it, and they're all over the place. We're not close to each other by any stretch of the imagination, you know. We're in basically different time zones, all of us. So, you know, we all sense that something is off with one another, and that's amazing to me. You know, that's truly, you know, the Soul Tribe 2019 is the hashtag for beckoning. I like that.
And there's a lot more. There's a lot more
yeah.
that will be joining this little tribe. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm sure a lot more people, especially the people subscribed that watch our content here, are probably mostly feeling the same way. Because this information and these feelings and emotions that we project out or talk about, that resonates with them. That's why they're subscribing to the channel. So, it's probably just about every one of them, which is awesome.
Right. Well, everybody's looking for something, you know what I mean? Everybody is really, and in all reality, this is really where everybody ends up, is just trying to find happiness in, like pure happiness, not, happiness that you got to spend money on, you know what I mean? Shit that, don't get me wrong, vacations are cool. I dig it. I love going to the ocean, jumping on a jet ski and doing whatever. I love all that kind of stuff. But also I love to set I'll go down to the park down here and we'll sit next to a little lake. It's got a little pond, lake, whatever it is. And we'll just sit there. That doesn't cost anything. Watch the sunrise, watch the sunset. Get just as much a kick out of that, and just, I don't know, man, just being in the moment and really just stopping and literally smelling the roses, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Literally. Because, you're programmed, there's a reason that you're programmed to buy all these little things to have fun with and spend all this money. Because every dime you're going to spend, you have to make another dime for the government. It's just...
Yeah, we talked about that on the last show.
If you spend $1,000 anything, they're getting $1,000, tax wise. So they want you to buy shit. They want you to buy all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? They want you to work till you're blue in the face buying more shit. You know what I mean? They want you to have a huge house.
That's
2 or 3 or 4 cars.
That's why they sell fear all the time. They sell the fear to get you to not feel whole, because you're not loving yourself. So if you don't love yourself, you have a big hole that you want to fill. So you buy, consume, trying to fill that void in your life, and it doesn't do anything. Those are temporary fulfillment. It lasts very short period of time, and then you got to buy something else to get that feeling again. When if you just love yourself, you'll always have that feeling. I'm not saying it's all going to be peaches and cream all the time. It does have its challenges, but it is a lot. You live in the love space a lot more than you don't. You know what I mean? Like you're you're in a bliss state more often than not, is the goal. And it didn't take very long before I got to that point. And then, something builds up and you still have to deal with an old energy. There's still a lot of the old energies that are here that are, phasing out slowly but surely. And we still have to, you have to transmute that. Those are things that you need to deal with, lessons that you need to learn. And
you've got contracts with these people.
So
according to Dolores Claiborne,
you may dislike somebody or feel that they're out to get you or hurt you or are hurting you. You've contracted with that person. You have an agreement with that person to learn. So learn what you are meant to learn from it, and it'll move on a lot sooner. I've been really seeing it lately, and really conditioning my subconscious is what I've been working on the most. And it seems to be working slowly, but it like we said before, it doesn't happen overnight. And
the way you know
that getting somewhere.
And the way you know that it's happening, the way you know that you're getting somewhere, is your higher self will have you look at the clock at that time to let you know, hey, bro, we're on the right track. We're on the right track. We're on the right track.
Yep.
You get that confirmation all day, every day. You see those license plates, or you see or you think of somebody and they call. There's so many synchronicities that, there's different things that'll happen where you went to, it's hard to describe, but you'll end up going to find something, but you'll find something else that really means even more to you. And you're like, wow, what led you to that? What led you to find that thing that you were really looking for, that you forgot that you were even looking for, that even means way more than it, And what it was like you was looking for this stupid ass screwdriver. You forgot all about the screwdriver, but because you found this other thing that was like, oh my God, I forgot about, because that's just been happening to me with like genealogy, you know, my family type stuff.
Yeah, that's like what Bashar says: follow your passion, follow your highest excitement, without any. Follow your highest excitement to the best of your ability with zero expectations on the result. Yeah. So don't have a predetermined set outcome in your mind of it, because that one thing that's your excitement now is going to lead you to something, to your next excitement, to your next thing, or to something else that is more important, but you don't know it. You can't, your conscious mind, your 3D mind doesn't register these things, you know, but your higher self is constantly pointing you in the direction, and they'll give you, you know, like you said, you're looking for the screwdriver, and then you'll find the thing that you were really meant to find that is really registers an emotion with you. You know what I mean? It really takes you to the next step. It helps you in your studies, you know, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I think it's so important to, you know, either meditate, pray, or just go find, you know, your silence, if whatever it is, where you can get and just kind of you know, be alone, and where you can kind of like and usually in the morning, real early in the morning when you get up, you can just go in the living room, like if you're the first one getting up, and just sit in silence and just sit there and think, and, you know, just allow the thoughts to come to you, because your higher self is trying to let you know shit, because it's connected to everything. It's connected to everybody else's higher self, because we are all really, you know, if you could imagine, we're all inside one brain. You know, like if you was to look at a brain, you see all these neurotransmitters everywhere. And if you could see them light up every time we do something, when we throw a ball, we think, whatever, they're different neurotransmitters light up. Well, that's what we really all of us people, we're all connected to each. So when we connect to each other, we throw a ball to each other, or we're talking like you and I, these neurotransmitters, we're connected to each other out here. Well, that's what our higher self is. You know, your higher self, he's like a neurotransmitter. My dude's like a neurotransmitter. Her higher self is a neurotransmitter. So there's billions of us, and we're all firing and do. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's so important to get in touch with your higher self, and to constantly be, you know, listening and looking and paying attention to what the hell's going on, because he's trying to tell you shit, you know, or she or whoever is trying to tell you, hey, go left, you know, but you go ahead and turn right, because you know what, you're going to get the booger over here. But something's telling you turn left, and you're like, nah. But you know, because you just do, you know, because that's what you've been doing. That's what you got to change. Because every time you change direction, every time you change where you're going, you fire different transmitters in your neurotransmitter. When you do that, you're firing different shit out here in the universe. I mean, it's literally, I always look at it like little, you know, shit is happening, you know what I mean? And then it's happening out here too, you know, on a bigger collective, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the higher self thing is huge, because that's your connection, dude. That's the operator, you know, like Barney and Andy, they get on there and say, hey, Sarah, get me the general store, you know, whatever. Sarah's your higher self. That's Sarah. You know, she's the one connecting you to all these other people. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Whoever, I don't know who the operator, I think it's Sarah. I forget what her name is. Andy and Barney.
That
Andy Gerber show. Yes, you probably haven't ever watched that, have you?
Oh my God, no. Not really. When I was a kid, I've seen it. I know what you're talking about, but no, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm too old, you know.
But yeah, as far as the higher self, that's yeah. I mean, the higher self has like a bird's eye view of your life. So, but we think so linearly. So we're looking at what's right in front of us. We want to go straight and take a right, when, you know, the higher self has that bird's eye view. They see the big picture. They know everything about you and your life and everyone around you. You know, those chance encounters that you have in your life are not chance at all. They're not coincidence at all. That was design. But you know, if you want to, you go and go this way, you want to go straight, and your higher self's like, go left. You're like, nah, man, I want to go there. I want to get to this place. They're like, no, you need to go this way. And then you know, you go straight and fall in a hole and break your leg. Turn left, but you wouldn't know that until you experience it, because we're thinking literally. We think we want to get to point A to point B, and they're thinking, you know, of the whole other, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. They're thinking of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And you know, we said about the like God and the neurons and the I like to think of it as like all the galaxies. So have you ever seen pictures of like galaxies and nebulas next to pictures of like brain cells and
Yes.
and things like that, and they're exactly
It's all the same.
So it's like these
So-
galaxies and everything. It's like these millions and trillions of galaxies that I'm sure are out there. If there's even a number you can put on it, the infinite amount of galaxies. It's like we're like in God's brain. You know, this is just we're all those little things that are all connected to it.
Well, look at an atom. Look at an atom. You have the protons and electrons going around the neutron, right in the middle, like planets, like planets orbit the sun.
Mm-hmm.
It's thing. It's a little kinky thing orbiting.
That amazes me.
Yeah, and it's electromagnetic and magnetic working together as a pulse. One sucks in, one pushes out, and it creates the torus. You know, it's like this, and that's like your brain. Like that's how the Earth is. There's this torus field.
Yep, everything.
Like this, I think that there's with your brain and your chakras. When you're lined up and you're connected, see this like torus field like this, you know, it pulls in and it pushes out and it creates this energy field. But I also see the same thing happening if you used to turn it sideways, your heart, see the same thing happening. You used to look down your skull, down through your skull, through your feet, and see your heart, you would see the exact same thing happening here. Yep. That's how you cross. And if you get them both, and you know what I mean?
It's like the Merkaba.
Now you're vibrating. That's when I was there, you know, where I'm been vibrating, man. But you know, and you're loving everything. I mean, you're looking at trees and crying and shit. You know, you're loving shit.
I've been crying at so much lately. Like it's crazy. I was watching Boss Baby with my kids the other night, and something so little like just brought me to tears. I was like, yes, you gotta be kidding me.
I know it. Yeah.
Everything. Listening to the people talk about their truths, like I feel that emotion, that feeling, that truth, and it'll make my eyes water, man. Like,
yeah. I feel you. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, because you start getting into touch. It's just like, and not only are you feeling, like I say, you know, that's part of it. And then you also got your mind, man. You have to learn. It's like, I think if you're not really trying to either learn esoteric knowledge or just sacred geometry, sonic geometry, philosophy, you know, whatever, anything, just learn anything, learn some shit, get your mind going, you know what I mean? I'm serious, get your brain working, because that fires your neurons. That's what gets you going, you know what I mean? And I just think what happens is you get this flow. I think you get in a flow of feeling and thinking and feeling. I think these are the two things, man. That's where the cross is. That's what that merge is. That's when I think you're like, wow, you're like on it. You know what I mean? That's when you're in it, you know. But it's hard.
I really like that, man. That's really deep. Like I never thought of it that way, but I do think of it, you know, with the Taurus energy field and that how everything is the same down to the you know, the atom. Individual atom has its own Taurus energy field. To the entire galaxy has its own, you know, from the planet to the stars, everything has its own. So from the tiniest element to the largest, it's all exactly the same in just different sizes, you know, as we perceive.
Right.
It's really incredible. And then how it all relates to it looks exactly the same as the cells or neurons or whatever in your brain as it does in the galaxy. Like I was amazed. They put the pictures side by side, and they're like, you know, one's a picture of your brain cell, and the other's of a galaxy or nebula or something in the universe. And I was like, I really don't know. I could not tell what it was, and what I picked was wrong. I was like, wow, man, that is intense. That's
yes. And I just think that I think that anybody who's found this where we're at, you know, they've either something's led them here, either synchronicities. There's been something that's been had their mind trigger, and then they get to this point to where now what? You know what I mean? Now is when you really focus in on your meditation, or you focus in on your time of silence and in the morning, man. To me, I really feel like right before I'm falling asleep and right when I'm getting up, and I think Tesla and Einstein and all these guys came up with most of their theories during this state. I forget if it's gamma. I'm not sure what state it is, but it's your brain. You're literally your subconscious and your conscious mind. There's a bridge. There's a better bridge where they can literally kind of talk or communicate or whatever, because your subconscious mind knows what the hell's going on. You just can't really get into that. It's programmed when you was a kid. It's got everything to do with instinct and everything to do with everything primal, but it's got so much to do with so much more if you can tap into it, and then your conscious mind's just running the shit. He's just, that's your ego, or whatever. But hell, I lost my damn train of thought again. I'll do that, man. I get to where I'm going, and I'm like, I always hang a left. I don't know what it is. I always think I'm hanging a left.
You know what? It bothers me too when I hit such a flow state and I just talk about so many things without even thinking about it, and then after and as I'm saying,
and then I come into
how clever it is, and then I start thinking about how clever it was, and like, damn, I really said that, and then I lose my train of thought. I lose the flow state. It's like, damn it!
What the hell is I just saying? I need to write that down. What was that?
Do that shit all the time.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you're feeding your brain. That's why I'm saying you need to feed your brain, because you start feeling you actually are connecting, because everything that your actions, I even think that your own information, your own memories are somewhere outside of you. I don't even think they're in your brain. I think like the Akashic records or whatever, I think it's out here like the cloud. I think you access it, because you'll notice when people are thinking of shit, they look up this way. They always look up, and think, I do. I feel like I do.
Yeah, everybody
I
does.
feel like whatever I'm getting is coming from over here somewhere.
That's how you can tell if someone's lying too, if they look up a certain way or the other way.
I think if you look right,
a fantasy or accessing a truth, it's
Yep, exactly. Yep. But so I think that all the information is out there. So once you start to learn, and a lot of people find once they wake up that they're learning on like this, everything that they click on. I mean, no matter how sophisticated it is, or how far out it might have been at one time, now they're like dialed into it. They're like, wow, this shit's making sense. You know what I'm saying? The theories, different kind of geniuses, and shit. And you're like, I'm understanding this. I'm absorbing it. You don't remember a lot of times, because you'll understand it, move on to something else. You're like, damn, but I was onto that. So you'll click back to it. But my point is that your brain starts to fire, man. Once that dude starts to fire, it's trying to connect out here, and it's connecting to shit. It's getting shit. That's why a lot of random shit will come into you. You'll just get like random shit, and you'll be like, wow, like I've had a few things like, and I've thought about trying to invent. I got this one thing that came to me, and I even drew pictures of it and everything. And I was like, man, this would be a hell of an invention. I don't want to say it because somebody else might
I'll say it.
Bridge. I'm like, man, that's how a lot of inventors, they've done the same thing. They get their ideas.
That's a perfect example of the higher self working. Like whoever the dude created the phone, is that Bell?
Yeah.
Well, someone else created a phone at the same exact time, and they got patents for it at about the same time. A
lot of inventions
got it out and had a better advertising game than the other one.
There's a ton of inventions.
Every major invention in our history, in the recent history, there was more than one person doing it at the same exact time in a different part of the world. So these things are not just coming out of your mind. You're coming from your higher self, or you're pulling that in from the Akashic. It's coming from somewhere, and that's not a coincidence that for every big invention, there's more than one person, more than one group of people working on. Even the air, there was the two people that made the airplane were they made bicycles or something, didn't they?
Yeah, something like that.
They're making airplanes, but someone else is doing that too.
when these inventors and these guys access this information at the same time, because the information's already there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that our mind, just like your channel, Conscious Evolution, our mind hits a certain evolutionary state to where it's ready to absorb, and it'll think outside of that. You know, it'll think that thought, I wonder if, and then all of a sudden, boom, here comes the information, because they was like, I wonder if, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, same thing's happening over here. This guy's thinking that shit, you know?
It's just like,
we go evolve, the DNA evolves. That's why everybody's waking up right now and everybody's connecting to their higher self, because I mean, it's just growing. It's, I think they say your DNA is actually, if you uncoil it, 26 feet or something like that. I forget what they said. It was, you know, your DNA is really big. It's a big strand of something, you know what I'm saying? It's packed full of information from previous lifetimes, your parents' previous lifetime.
There's 90% DNA that we have no idea what it is. Call it junk DNA. You know, that is not junk. Is not junk. No, that's your past lives. That's everything. Everything. Yeah, you know, when you activate your DNA, that's where a lot of this information comes from. You're reconnecting those strands and you're able to access your Akashic record. So anything, you know, you're not going to know, well, some people do, but mostly you're not going to know the names and in the specifics, but you're going to know the information that you learned in those past lives. And that's a lot of what's happening here. And that's the percentage of DNA that is coming out. I think I can't remember. Kryon was just talking about this, and it really amazed me. And it's amazing. And that's why I like this reconnective healing too, because that is the purpose of it, is to reconnect your DNA. You know, that's the only thing that makes sense to me when it says reconnect strands. You know, it says reconnect strings and reconnect strands, and you're here to bring light and information onto the planet. And you must know that you're a master. So that is like the purpose of doing this healing, is to fast track that evolution, to jumpstart it, you know, to get you connected with your higher self, to connect your DNA, to start getting you to connect these dots and learn all the information that you can and actually retain it. You might not remember it, but when someone asks you a question related to that, you're going to be able to access that information. You're going to be able to pull it out of the field, out of the ethers.
Right.
You know? And I thought the same thing too, that our memories aren't necessarily stored in our brains, even though scientifically it says that they are in a certain point. But it's really, I mean, science isn't caught up to where we're at in this energy. There's some people that are getting there, but I mean, they now know that there's multiple dimensions, but they think there's like 11 and there's like more than 27. But you know, they'll get there. It's going to catch up, and it like science is proving all of this stuff slowly, but like what all these channel people are talking about and what they've been talking about for over 20 years, a lot of these things have come to fruition. You know, a lot of these things have been proven. So that's where it gets its merit to me. That's, you know, Kryon's been doing it for 28 years, and the things he said in the beginning have happened. You know, he said it before they happened, and that's amazing.
It's esoteric knowledge as well. I mean, there's been, you know, ancient civilizations who've known this. You know, there's the information's here. I mean, it's been here, and you know, we're just now finally getting to a point where we can connect dots because of the web. I'm telling you, this web is it's the shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like a great metaphor for, you know, without the web, we're connected. Without the internet, without, you know, we're still connected. But boy, is this here really, you know, really got us connected. You know what I'm saying?
From all over the world. I mean, a lot of the ancients talked about the web. They just didn't call it the internet because they didn't know what it was called. But, you know, I think some of them actually called it like a spider's web across the world. But, you know, I think I said this in the last show too, that the ancients, all of them, talked about this age, this golden age that we're moving into, and it's because it's esoteric. It's lined up with the stars. The stars have everything to do with it. Our position in the galaxy has everything to do with it. And they knew we would be moving into this. Well, they didn't have books, or they couldn't, look through a telescope and see the stars and tell you where the alignment and where we were going to be. And well, actually, they could, but it's and we think they were more primitive than us, but I think they were more advanced. But they all knew it, and they got it the same way. They were channeling their higher selves, or the whatever was giving them the information. They were more in tune. They didn't have as many distractions as we have now. So they were able to access this their Akashic record. They were able to get that information through their higher selves, and that could see the future. It's not so much seeing the futures as seeing the energy, seeing the probabilities, the possibilities. If you hit this point, you're going to shift to here, so they all knew it was a high possibility, a high probability, a high percentage that this would happen. So once we got to a certain point, if we make it past that point, then we're all right. And we didn't make it past.
Well, everything is cyclical. Everything goes in a circle, and and they've known there's always going to be these certain time periods where we have access to like the truth and everything, and it's up to us. And this is what they did when they built. The Mayans did it. The Egyptians didn't build the pyramids. No. Those pyramids were built long, long ago. But the people or the creatures or whoever built the pyramids, they done that to leave a record of that knowledge. Pi and Phi and the Fibonacci sequence. You'll find all those answers, everything to the universe, in these big, huge, monuments that have been left behind. And then in a different time period, the same information has been left somewhere else on the planet. Another time period, totally different part of the planet, same information. So this information in different time periods, we have access to it, and it's up to us to leave that footprint behind to say, hey, look, here's the answers. And then it's for the future generation to figure that shit out. Like, they discover, and they're like, oh boy, these pyramids are cool as hell. Well, these are neat, and they thought, boy, this is where they buried King Tut. They built this, these 4 billion ton rocks all over the place, to bury a king, what I'm saying? It took if it would have been manpower, it would have been so many hundreds of thousands of men and so many tens of thousands of years, it just couldn't be done, to bury a king, but that's what we first think. That's how, our consciousness was evolving at the time. Because when we find that shit, we're learning, we learn. That's then you have some guy comes along and tries to tell them what it means, and they think, oh, this dude's nuts. Like that Sitchin guy, that he's been talking about this shit forever, he's been
and he was completely discredited.
Other people, these guys know what's up, and people look at him like, oh, this dude's talking about aliens come down here and help these people build this, and these are star people that did this. This guy's nuts, they said, but now we see this guy wasn't nuts. A lot of people thought Dolores Claiborne was nuts. This lady's crazy, but Dolores Cannon, and you see that you're like, everything coming, what they're saying, it all just snaps together so perfectly. With everything else from the past, and it's like, and then the other guys are really trying to beat their books, say, hey, no, this is the way it is. And it's like, dude, you're not making any sense. Your shit don't make any sense. This here sounds like the truth, because mathematically it all adds up, and harmoniously it all adds up. And that's what the whole answer to everything is. It lies in mathematics and harmony, but so I don't know what else. Oh, like I was saying, there's always these time periods where, we're connected, we get connected, we find the information out, and then somehow as a species, we leave a footprint here that's going to survive the floods, that's going to survive the ice age, it's going to survive the fires and whatnot, and the atomic weapons and whatever else. And then some generation, is going to start from scratch, grow into and evolve and find these answers, to everything.
I think we're on the right track. I don't think we're gonna have to deal with another extinction. You know, like there's been so many times in the past. I mean, that's geological records. You can see it in the rocks, you know, that these things happen where the population of the world was significantly decreased. Like a lot of people say, this is our 5th time around, you know, it's like we finally got it right.
This is the good one here because this is the one where we're going to have the power. Yeah, we're going to have the power this time. And we, the people, as a collective, are literally going to be able to make shit go down and change it instead of letting the powers that be win out and cause, you know, near extinction or cause all this, you know, problems and cataclysm and whatever. We're gonna fight back, dude. And I really believe it too. I really believe that there's going to be this big shift of the way that people are and the way that people think. You know, something huge. And it'll probably have to do with seeing different planets or seeing different. There'll be something that's huge. Yeah,
there's going to be something that people can't, that the average person cannot deny. You know,
they can't deny.
The reason they've gotten so far into this energy, into keeping the old energy, keeping people in the old energy, is they get them to a point to where they feel they don't need to learn anything else. They know everything they need to know for their life, and they're good with that. So they won't accept any new information that doesn't have to do with what they already know. So that's what's keeping a lot of people stuck. And personally, that's what I've seen with people that I've talked to. They're just not willing to accept new information, new ideas. Anything outside the box is the devil. Yeah. So that something big is going to happen. Something is going to shift with the group consciousness that's going to make you think about something new. You know what I mean? There's going to be something. I don't know what it is, but I know it's going to be big. And that's all it is. This is an evolution of consciousness, you know? And some people are waking up to it, and most of them are not. But slowly, every day, more and more people are waking up. That's why we're doing videos. That's why we're putting our information out there. And, you know, I hope you guys got something from the video. It's been about an hour now, and I got to run now. So let's wrap this up here. I think we had a really good video here and a lot of good information here. Again, I really hope you guys got something from it. Me too. Thank you, BoneZee. That was do this again in a couple of days. Keep this thing going, man.
Yes. Well, we're trying to grow ourselves, and so come over to my channel and like it and share, subscribe, and all that stuff that you do, and help me build my channel, help AJ build his, and we save you guys a lot of homework. I know you spend tons of time on here researching and ciphering through things that are, you know, I don't know. There's just a lot of things that'll take you here and take you there.
Yep.
You know, because you really have to stay grounded, because a lot of people, you know, the first thing they want to do is they're like, oh man, everything sucks. I'm ready to quit my job. I'm ready to do it. You got to stay grounded a little bit, because shit ain't going to change for you immediately. You're not just going to like live in a bunch of flowers. I mean, you'll get evicted, man. You know, you lose your job, you know, you lose your car, you lose your shit. So you got to, but you can start the change. You know, you can start the change. You can start by just, I'm telling you, just going a different way to work, eating something different at lunch, calling somebody that you never call. You know, do things different, do shit different all day, every day. If you keep doing shit different, you'll run into different places. You'll be around different people. Your thumbprint will be in a different place. You know, if you used to look over the globe instead of you're always going here, here, and here, now you're over here on the globe.
Yep.
Now you're here on the globe, you know, and you're moving around, and so now you're occupying different space and time. That's where different people are and different energy. And dude, you open yourself up to so much different things and that's when you got to wake up and look around and listen to your synchronicities. You know, if you had a weird dream, it was trying to tell you something, you know, maybe you was eating tacos in that dream, man, and here you are in a different neighborhood, and there's the tacos stand. Go have a taco. You know what I mean? Just explore, man. Go be like an explorer and be awake and be paying attention, because who knows what's going to happen, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Who knows what's going to happen.
Be more childlike, you know what I mean? You know,
Yeah.
your sense of joy and passion and love back, because we all have it as a child. We all it's all we know until we get conditioned into the society, which happened to be an old energy, which is no longer thriving in this environment. So we're all into the new energy of love. So with that, I will say, be the change that you want to see in the world. Love each and everybody. I love each and every one of you. Love yourself. And thanks for joining us here again. Please like the video, share, subscribe to mine and BoneZee's channel. Links are below. Check out the t-shirts if you want to help support us. That's one way to do it. And until the next time, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.